Hey YouTube, it's Cutt here, and we're bringing you another one. Yes, this is part 2 of drawing Chanel Williams. She has a YouTube channel, and she does funny videos, usually pertaining with Harry Potter on TikTok. And I enjoy watching her, and she cracks me up. And I reach out to her to draw her, and here we are. So if you didn't see part one is the inking stage. I don't have a video of the sketching because this was before I made the decision to start recording my videos in this way. But you can click right here and you can see the video of the inking first and then come back to here. So let's get started. So what I like to do when I first start coloring, this is easy because, well, one, she's already a full color. So I'm actually going to take this sketch and put it in here. And what I like to do is take another layer. And because I have this solid gray, I like to do a clipping mask inside. So now if I color, it's all inside of the gray area. I'm going to erase this arrow. And this is a very easy costume because she's wearing black. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to black. If I go all the way to black and fill it in, you won't see any of the details. So almost never do you have me go all the way to the black. Also, if I sound a little tired, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. So I do have a preset gray that I used to use this one here, but it's just not rich enough. So I use this one. It's just a little bit darker. And then boom, I just fill it in. So now I know that's my base. Now, I'm not doing a background just because I don't feel like doing all that. But what I am going to do, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, like, do I go with, I don't know. I think what I want to do is something, I don't know, you guys. I mean, I could go something kind of grayish, right? And do a little bit of a, oops, yes, a little bit of a gradient here. And what I'm thinking is take this up a notch and then take some, oops. Just adding a little bit more. And I'm just taking the what do you call this? The finger, the hand blur. What do you call this thing? What is this? Whatever this thing is called. And just adding a little bit of color here. We need some dark as well. It's too bright right now. So I'm going to actually go to the black and just, oops. And just kind of make it a little bit darker. All right, I'm actually going to add a little bit. Now kind of like, and sometimes I'm liking this, but I'm like, do I want the dark at the bottom or do I want the top? So what I'll sometimes do is group it, I'll grab it, and then I will flip it and see how I feel. Like, is it better with the light on the bottom? It looks good, but I have to keep in mind that I want to do some stuff. Also, I think it needs to be more blue. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go to, color, and I'm just going to add a little bit. Just to bring it forward a little bit more. Now, because the background has a little bit of a blue tint, this black, and I did that in quotes, it's not really looking black, it's looking gray. which means I need a little bit of blue. So I'm going to grab the blue that's here, and I'm going to bring it here, and then I'm going to drop that color instead. See how she fits? She feels like she's in the space now, just because, and in your mind, she's wearing a black dress, but in reality, it's blue. Now I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I mean, a little bit leaning more to the gray. And now it really feels like she's wearing black, but in the blue space. So now I'm going to go up a layer. Now this is easy because she's wearing all black, so it's less coloring. And now I'm going to go to her skin complexion. So it's hard when they give you multiple pictures of themselves, because like here, if I was to grab this color here, she would be much lighter, and whereas this one, she would be maybe a little bit darker. This is probably closer to her tone. So I'm going to come here. I already have a brown, but if I was to just use this brown, let's just put it in just so you can see why I wouldn't use this brown, right? So if I just, and I could drop it. They do have a way to drop it, but I'm not going to do that. But let's just say I just color this in. That's way too bright for this scene, right? So I need this, I want to have this tone, I want her to be a little bit warmer than the scene, but this is way too warm. But I can't just go up and then think that's going to be the fix, because that's going to make it brighter and lighter. So what I really need is to, I want to go back to that color. I need to bring it down into the gray, like maybe here. But see how that's maybe too gray? So I have to bring it back a little bit. Maybe a little bit more, just to have it a little bit more rich. Maybe a little bit more up. That feels a little bit better. Just a little bit warmer. That feels better. It's not exact, but it's a good base. So now that I have the base, I can go in and find where her skin is and fill in all the skin. There you go. That's all the skin. Which is funny because that's never the case. It's never just hands and face. It's always arms and legs and whatever. But all right. Now, let's get back to, actually, I want to go here and see. So she has like this checkered pattern on her, on this band area. So I'm going to do is underneath the skin, I'm going to get some green. So even though I just did this, I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm going to delete it. And that's a decision I'm making. Because it looks good on her in real life, but it's not translating the same. It's not translating the same in the illustrated life. So I'm going to change it a bit to fit my style and what I think look. Oh, well, see that's what happens sometimes. So now I'm actually doing it on the wrong layer. I'm coloring on the wrong layer. See, I didn't make a layer. So I'm going to undo and then do another layer. the next stage is the face, right? So above the skin clipping, I'm actually going to go back to this one. What I'm going to do is, well, first I'm going to do the hair. So I'm going to grab her skin and bring it all the way down, but more into the gray. And then I'm going to color in the hair. And then on the layer underneath that, now, realistically, your eyeballs are never white. They're never, it's just, realistically, it's just not. So sometimes I want to go full white. But in this case, it's too bright for the scene. And also, it's sometimes best to grab the skin and put the eyes more like in a warm, tannish space. And sometimes that's a little bit better. I'm going to make it a little bit brighter. There we go. Same thing with the teeth. And I usually just put this on the same layer. So with the skin, or with the lips, I'm going to make it a little bit darker, like here. And I'm going to push it into the red just a little bit. Because she doesn't really have... I'm actually going to do a different layer because I think I might have to change that. She doesn't have like lipstick on or anything. So I have to see what works here. So now I'm going to go just above the skin. I'm going to go to, almost red. I'm going to take a soft brush, make it small, and just add a little bit of blush. Just a little bit on the ears and nose. It just warms her up a bit. So that's the base. Let's do the bazooka. Actually, don't mind the colors of the bazooka that we got here on the left. So above that blank color, we're going to get the, grab her skin because it's closer to that color, more yellow. So even though I'm coloring this, as I'm looking at it, I kind of like the look of the all black. It just feels like it works. It feels cleaner. So I'm not going to force it. I'm going to keep it the way it is. So now that all the color is done, now we do the shadows. Now the good thing is this is already a very good dark color. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to just make it more blue. Little bit lighter. I'm going to change this layer to multiply, and I'm going to bring it down to, in this case, I'm going to do 40. Might go to as 50, but sometimes I'll go to 40. I'm going to go back to her face just so I can make sure I'm doing this right. And now I'm actually going to go back to the ink. So I'm going to, actually, let me put these all in one layer, one group. So now we have the main design, the background, and this was the old sketch. So I wanted to see where my lighting source is. So this fire area is going to come out the back. Let me get a marker here. So we want like flames or something bright. Doesn't have to be fire. I don't know, something mystical. That's bright here. That's the main bright source. But I also want some of the, I do want a little bit like soft light here to make some type of light in this direction. So the main thing is the main light source is here, which on this side, which means the shadow has to be here. And then I can do some type of soft lighting here. But you know what, I think, wondering if it's better if the main light is here, darkness here, and then this bright light is making, No, I like it this way. I like the darkness on this side, and then light here, and then just a soft color of light based upon the light that we do here. All right, that's what it's going to be. Okay, so now I have that. I can come back here, back to the drawing board. So now I know. So in this case, I'm actually going to do a different method. So because I want mostly shadow on her face in front, I'm actually going to fill the whole thing in with shadow, and I'm going to go up a notch to 50. Actually, let's go to 50. Now that I know the lighting is coming from the right, I'm going to fill it all in and then take an eraser and erase, let me just make it bigger, the light instead of filling in the light. So now what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, I know main light source is going to be coming from the right. So anything on the left should be in shadow. And since it's so much shadow, it doesn't make sense to fill it in. It's better if it's just, I'm just erasing. Okay, so I like it, but there are some things I'm noticing as I'm going forward. So I love the way it looks, but it's almost too dark. So now I need to make this black just a little bit brighter, a little bit more gray, and bring it here. Just so now you can see a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to bring it up a little bit more into the right. So now we can see a little bit of that detail because we're going to go darker. So now I'm going to go back to this shading. I'm going to turn the shading all the way to 100. I'm going to turn it back to normal. And then I'm going to grab that color again. I'm going to undo to take it back to where it was. And then I'm going to duplicate that layer. And I'm going to clear it. And now I'm going to do another layer of shading. But this time, instead of filling the whole thing in with black, I'm going to actually draw in that shading. So anything that I want to be even darker, I'm going to do. So first, I'm just going to do this so you can see the difference with the hat being made a little bit richer. So I'm just going around, and because we're in that silhouette, I can't draw outside the line. And I'm just going around and filling in, making a circle so that when I fill it in, boom. So you see how much richer and darker that is? And even still, I'm still feeling that it's too dark. So I'm gonna bring this color up even more. To about here. I'm going to go back to that layer. I'm going to fill it in. And there we go. So now I'm working on the face. So what I'm doing is I know for sure the light is in this area. So everything on the left side of the face has to be in shadow. So I have to do it in a way that doesn't make it look weird or odd in any way. And sometimes you just have to cheat a little bit when it comes to drawing. You know, for real, all this should be in shadow like that. But it kind of takes away the look, so I'm only putting a little bit of it in shadow to suggest what's actually taking place. Okay, so this is a perfect example of not making a good selection. So I want to fill in all this area. So I did like a silhouette, as you can see, around the area I want to do. But because I didn't connect it somewhere, when I try to fill it in, it leaks out. So it's not doing the area I want. So sometimes I have to turn off the inking and see, okay, where is the spot? So remember, because we have the clipping mask on, you can't see any other areas. So what I would just do is I'll just come around and just I just try to get every corner. Sometimes I spot it right away, sometimes I don't. And just see, maybe that was, actually I think that was the area right here. And just kind of go around, and I'll turn it back on, and then it should work. So now that I'm here at the hands, I've realized, oh, I didn't color the nails. Now, sometimes I'll notice it and say to myself, oh, I'll come to it later, and never come to it later. So the point is, if you notice something, you want to try to fix it right when you notice it. So I noticed that the lips is also a makeup, and it's by itself. So I say, hey, put it on the same layer as the lips. So I'm going to grab her skin tone, and I'm just going to go up a little bit into the left for a more white color nail. So now I have to make a decision on how I want the effects to look, because the shading is practically done. Now, a step that I'm not going to do that I usually would do is I would go back to the main one and I would erase the dark side and create some type of bounce lighting. But because my bounce light is going to be actual color, I'm not going to do that. So before I get into lighting and on the character, I want to get the light source in the background. So I'm going to go back to the background. I'm going to go above this color. And I'm going to actually go a little bit more blue and turn this to add. And I'm going to get this brush that I really like. I try not to use it all the time because I really enjoy it. It's called Nebula. Now, the way Nebula, the base Nebula, the way it is, if I go to none, it does colors around that blue. So I did blue, so I picked these other colors to go with it. It's not bad, but sometimes I just want it to be all the one color. So I duplicated it and did my own tweaks and revisions to it to be a little bit more the way I want. So, and also, as you can see, when I do that, I mean, it gets to white eventually, but I really am pressing hard to get to white. So to kind of get there faster, if I go to add, it'll get to white much quicker than before. Now, what I want to do is add a source of light here. Right? So that's a little bit. And I also want to make it a little bit darker everywhere else. So I'm going to come underneath here. I'm going to go to like a dark blue. Grab a softer brush, make it bigger. We're going to make this multiply. I'm just going to turn this way and just make it a little bit more, just a little darker everywhere else. Right? And now what I'm going to do is make another layer here. I'm going to go to this softer blue. I'm going to take the freehand lasso tool and just kind of make a, I don't know, what is that, rhombus or whatever shape that is. And brush a little bit of this in there. Should have had it on add. And I'm going to turn it to add. Okay. Then we're going to take some white, make the brush smaller, just kind of and then I'm going to push it. Oops, it's too big. Just push it out a little bit more. Then I'm going to duplicate it. Do a Gaussian blur. And actually put it over top of everything here. Okay. I'm going to do another one, do add. I'm going to go to the inking and same thing here. So there's a stipple brush that's there and you can see it's very small stipples. Sometimes I want that, but sometimes I want them a little bit more spaced out. So I made a custom one here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Actually a lot bigger. And just put some sparkles as if there's magic coming out of this. Right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another layer to add. I'm going to go here to the soft brush again and just over top of everything, oops, make it a little bit more blue. I'm just kind of giving a little bit of a glow. Not that much. Just a little bit. To really feel like there's light coming from here. So you can feel the main light source is coming from the right, and then not much on the left. Now, I don't know how I want to do this fog. So the way I did the fog, let's see. I'm gonna just gonna put this into a group, and I'm gonna turn all these off, turn this on. You can see here I have like this smoke. And I was just doing that as a suggestion to get an idea of what it could look like, similar to the picture on the left. But I don't know. Let's see what we could do. So I'm going to turn everything back on, and I'm going to, I'm going to do, we need to separate this layer. So I'm going to separate the bomb. I'm gonna to get that menu, if you select the object and you use your 3 fingers and slide up together, this menu pops up. So you take your 3 fingers and you slide together up, and I'm going to do cut paste. So now it's separated it from the group, and then I'm going to grab this, select it, same thing again, cut paste, bring it to the top, right underneath. I'm going to grab here, just grab a section, cut paste, bring it here. I'm going to clip down, multiply, bring it to, was it 50? Bring it to 50. And then I'm going to go up 1, and I'm going to grab this blue and fill it in. I'm also going to turn this to normal to get the original color of the shading. Go back by undoing, and then I'm going to duplicate, clear it so that we can get that extra layer. Of dark. The reason why I separated it is because I want clouds or the smoke to be underneath the bomb but above the gun. So in between this layer and this layer. So now I'm going to take a dark gray and find something that looks smokish. What is that going to be? I really don't know. Let's see. This is not bad. Just a little. It's not bad, but I would definitely want to soften it and definitely get some swirls going. Okay, I think I know what design I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of that, and we're going to get some whimsicalness going there. And now what I'm going to do is go another layer. I'm going to go to a bluish green. Let's stay more blue. I'm going to take the regular pen and now I'm going to just I'm going to take the pencil, the sketch pencil, and just start making magical swirls. So now that I have my swirls, what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to make another layer because I want to keep this blue because I like the blue color, but that line needs to be white, right? So I take the line, I make it white, and then I duplicate the line. I turn it to add. Actually, I'm going to turn them both to add. That should be add, and this should be add as well. I'm going to take that blue that I first had, and then I'm going to fill in the top one in blue. Then I'm going to take Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur it. I'm going to blur it kind of small like here. Then I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to blur it a little bit more. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm just going to go in and erase this a little bit more. So now it really feels like that there's power, right? There's magic. So then we go back, we do another layer. We can go back to white, go to the ink, and we just start adding sparkles. And then we could do the same thing where we duplicate, make it that blue that we had before. So now I have to zoom in, make the blue, make sure it captures all of it. See, it didn't capture it all. See, I made everything blue, turn it to add, and then we're going to Gaussian blur, but very slightly, and then we're going to do it again. We're going to duplicate, we're going to duplicate, and we're going to duplicate. So now it looks like those specks are glowing, right? Okay, so now I'm going to just take all that fun stuff, and we're going to keep that layer, and just put it all in one big group. So now we have this, we have the smoke, we have some design here, and we have the background. I'm actually going to put this inside of here, part of the background. Okay, now the smoke is bothering me. So let me see if I take it, let's see if we make it blue. And let's see if we add I'm just testing out different modes because sometimes you have happy accents. Difference isn't bad. Add is not bad either. Let's make it add and just reduce a little bit. That feels a little bit better. So now that we have our main bright source on the right and a little bit of light on the left, now I can go back to the character, which is here, do another layer, clipping, and what I'm going to do is actually white. I think white, oops. Should I do that first? So I'm debating because I wanted to make the outside part of the dress a little bit more shiny or like sparkly, but I don't want it to distract from the magic. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to go to the J Cutt brush. I call it the just in case on my regular. And what I'm going to do now is along the brim. So I want to go white. Let's try, before I do the white, let's get this blue. Oops. And fill it in and then go to add. I think that's a little bit better of a fit. And I just go in and I just hit every corner where the light touches. So now we're almost there. But now it's too dark on the left. So the right side is really bright, which is great. It looks good. I'm actually going to erase a little bit of this off of her face. And now what I'm going to do is take this same blue and without turning it into an add mode, we're going to see how it feels to add it to the left side of her face. So it's really good, but maybe it's too bright. Even darker. There we go. So that's the color. So I'm going to take this and now do it on the left side. Now, I am loving this. So, we have everything we need, but I'm feeling like the areas over here, let me show you, is, I don't know, missing something. Or at the very least, I need more richness here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue, make it a little bit more blue. And over everything, I'm going to turn this to overlay. Turn these off. Overlay. And I'm going to take this brush, make it bigger. Or take the soft brush, make it bigger. And just a little bit more blue over here. And I'm going to take this blue that's a little bit more tealish and just push it here as well. And see the difference? Let me show you. As before, after, before, after. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing on her face because it kind of toned her face down a little bit. It's bothering me. So let me do this. I'm going to turn this off, this off, this off, this off, and keep that on. I'm going to grab this. Is the color in there? No. I'm going to turn this up, bring this to normal. You can hear the train in the background. And I'm going to fill in this. This is about, where is it at? Undo. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had it on that brush, that's why. On the other layer, this one, I'm just going to fill this in. It was feeling a little bit too popped out. I'm going to fill that in as well. So at least now it feels like it fits a little bit more. I'm going to, oops, go to the regular eraser and just see if I can soften things up a bit. And there you have it. You know, you just got to know when you're done. There's so many things I could do more. I can change things or alter things, but I think this is it. I hope she enjoys it. I'm going to send it to her now. I don't know if she'll see it. Actually, I don't know what part of the world she is in. So she actually might see it if I send it now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. But I definitely think it's something that she will enjoy. So, like I said, if you want to see this video without me talking, you're in the wrong place. Because we have that video. Don't forget to watch part 1. If you haven't already, don't forget to like. I'm tired, y'all. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. And that's it. Bye, y'all. What are you doing? I know you're not about to leave without liking or sharing or something. I know you see that red button. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.